Thank you very much, Gwen. Yeah, no, I think it's a really good opportunity to have some of these questions that have come in from the players that are registered with Volleyball England to essentially understand a bit more about our chief executive, Charlie Ford. And before we get into the questions, really, Charlie, because we do have 20 minutes here, I just wanted to kind of um, get a bit more about you, just a little introduction into you and kind of leading up to kind of becoming CEO of Volleyball England.
I can see Gwyn grinning, so I'm gonna ask you to ring the bell after 2.5 minutes because then I'll shut up. Okay. But yeah, look, I mean, sport has played such a prominent role in my life since since I was playing football in the back garden with my older sister to kind of to where I am now. But yeah, in terms of my professional career, I chose not to go to university at 18. I was kind of done with education at that point, but I wanted to go and start developing myself professionally. So I went into finance first when I was 18, and worked for a local credit card company. I was that young person that said, I'm going to do this for a year, 2 years, and then really think about what I want to do in my life. And 9 years later, I was made redundant from finance, having gone through a number of different positions. And I finally realized that, really what I wanted to do was work in sport. So I essentially took some of that nice redundancy money that I was given from my career in finance and bought myself some time. And what I did during that is that I got into community coaching with my local basketball club. So basketball, I'm sorry for all of the volleyball players here. Basketball is my background. That was my sport. Um, but yeah, community coaching got me into working in a sports environment, learning how community sport worked, because I essentially wanted to use that as a segue to go and working in sport. Which, after a number of different job applications and being told that I wasn't good enough, I finally got a role with Basketball England. To fast forward 11 fantastic years at Basketball England. Then took the opportunity to go and work in boxing for an 18-month period. I'm very fast forward through this, and then 6 interviews later, I now have the honour of being the chief exec of Volleyball England, and I've been in post for 2 years.
Brilliant, brilliant. I think anyone watching this, any players or aspiring kind of coaches wanting to kind of step into more of an exec role would definitely take inspiration from your story, just from the few times that we've spoken about kind of your background. So I'll definitely commend anyone if they can actually pin you down at a tournament or something and ask a couple of questions to kind of pick your brain.
Yeah,
Um,
always welcome.
Brilliant. So we'll go into the questions. The first question is from Andre Castro, who's part of London Giants, who are also part of the Super League this year. His question is, how do you plan to develop youth programs and improve coaching to support the growth of the sport?
Yeah, so this is I mean, it's a great question. Um, I'm going to use an analogy first and foremost because this is quite a broad question, and I am going to give quite a broad answer. Um, and let's make it really simple. So I'm assuming you've all had blinds on your windows at home at some stage growing up, or you probably have it now. And what you find with most blinds is they have these annoyingly, they have two strings either side. And when you want to raise it, you have to pull both of these strings at the same time so that it raises all in the same line. And what you tend to find is if you pull one of them too quickly, one side will go up and the other one will stay down, and then it will be on the wonk, and then you have to try and readjust it. And that's kind of when that's the way I like to think of it when you think about sport development, because sport development comes in a number of different chunks, whether it's competition, whether it's coaching standards, whether it's coaching workforce development. And what you've got to do when you're wanting to make progressions and making improvements is make sure that they incrementally kind of move at the same time. So you're pulling those strings at the same speed, because if you pull one too quickly, what you'll find is maybe you've got a really high level of coaching, but you don't have the facilities to be able to do to pull all your players together. You maybe haven't got the competition levels to actually then put those skills into practice. So really what we've centered on at Volleyball England, in line with our strategy, is around three areas. So it's coaching standard, it's competition environments, and athlete experience. They're the three areas that we're trying to move all at the same time here. This is linked to participation as much as it is to talent and England programs. And what we've depicted, I guess, over the next 5 years is some steady, we call it conscious plodding. And it's a deliberate term. It means we're not moving too quickly here and we're not going to get that disparity. But it also gives us appropriate time as we're moving forward in all of these areas to just make sure we've got the check and balance right. So I guess they're the three key areas that I would say. But absolutely, youth is a huge focus. At the moment, volleyball, in terms of participation rates, the adult participation rates outweigh the youth. However, if you look at how it's been starting to catch up over the last few years, and yes, we can say Haiku played a huge role in that and continues to, but we think that youth participation is going to overtake. So that's why we're now accelerating our plans so that we've got better supported and informed clubs and coaches that can support more young people as they're coming in. Hopefully, we get much more access to facility because we know that's a huge issue as well in terms of having enough court time to get all of this interest on the court. And then if we get all of that right, the net result is that performance levels start going up.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. There's a really interesting analogy, the blinds thing, because that, I mean, when you picture it, it makes sense, 100%. And the next question is also from Andre. We're now going into kind of what being if kind of is being a volleyball professional, either coaching or playing in this country, a legitimate possibility in the near future, as at the moment many clubs don't have the resources to pay coaches.
Okay. Yes, that's absolutely why we're here, and it's what we're trying to do in terms of professionalizing the sport. I guess it's worth mentioning first and foremost that there are a number of volleyball clubs around the country that do pay their coaches. Yep. This is not a completely voluntary workforce that we have, and it's interesting in sport. And especially sports like volleyball that have a largely volunteer base and have been born out of a lot of hard work from people that have never drawn a penny from the sport. When you start to talk about professionalization and you start to talk about drawing salaries, it can provoke very emotional responses from people very quickly. However, yes, absolutely. Everything that we're doing from a Super League perspective, if we just talk about that for a moment, because obviously Andre plays in the Super League, is to improve the competition standard. So this again is all part of that second element that I talked about in terms of the competitions and environments and standards. So we've been slowly, and hopefully people have seen some of the changes we've made in the last couple of years. So the social media, Matt's left us now, but the social media presence around the Super League, the introduction of technology, including Huddle, which gives us all of the statistical elements. We've been working with the Home Office to kind of improve and I guess demystify some of the processes around actually bringing in some international talent as well, caveated by the fact that we want to make sure that we're supporting the British core of players for our pathways. So yes, in short, we absolutely want to see professional opportunities for the sport I think the question was in the not too distant future. I can't put a time frame on that, but hopefully as we keep chipping away at this, it will become a reality.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think it's also about that balancing act, as you said there again, and kind of growing the sport evenly across the board and making sure that all of the teams have the same sort of opportunities. Really, really important as well. Next question comes from Ben Alvey. He's part of Exeter Storm as a junior player, it looks like.
And of course, Ben's on the call.
Yep. Yes, Ben is on the course.
Excellent.
So, Ben, if you wanted to ask your question, please go away. There you go.
Or Jermaine, you can always ask it for him.
Is he there? No, I can't see him. All right, cool. So how do you learn or know how to manage everything in life when you want to do it all, i.e. school, homework, training, matches, gym, quality time with friends and family?
I guess the first thing I'm going to say here is Claire answered that question very well, didn't she, during her session? In terms of, if I learn correctly, it's the setting the goals, the prioritization, and then planning. To give you in a chief exec position, obviously, and this is not me patting myself on the back or anything like that, but you have to be many different things in many different places, and seemingly every moment. The top tip I would give here, and it comes back again to a lot of the things that Claire said, is learning how you keep yourself on top form, and setting what you could call healthy habits. So what are my healthy habits? Well, I have 2 dogs. They are part of my healthy habits because they help me to disconnect from work. They always need walking, so I get to go and walk them, and I'm fortunate to live in hills and greenery and things like that as well, so that helps. I'm going to sound very geeky here because I am a big geek, but I like Lego as well, and that really helps me disconnect from work, so I can lose myself for an hour or 2 hours. I could turn the camera around and show you my Lego collection, but I'm not going to do that. But I think, yeah, just finding those things that help for you. And I'm also, I'll say something here as a man that I don't think we're very good at saying, because I think you also need to find a way to ensure that your emotions flow through you. I think one of the things that I've seen in terms of struggles is where, wrongfully we think we have to be strong, and we have to be resilient all the time, and we have to just take and not allow, again, your emotions to flow through you. And everybody will have different ways of doing that. For me, the gym is my kind of how I do that. And I think Claire mentioned something earlier about setting little goals or little things that so you can get those quick wins, or you can get those wins that support your well-being. For me, mine is I get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, I'm in the gym at 6:45, and my win is that by the time it's 7:45, I leave and I'm back at my house and I go, oh, I've worked out today. That's bloody brilliant. I'm feeling great. So yeah, just find something. I think Ben, find something. Find those things that work for you, but also just understand as well, you're a human being, and you can't be great at everything. You're not always going to get everything right. You will make mistakes. We all make mistakes. Don't beat yourself too much about that. Yeah,
that's brilliant advice for our juniors, I'd say. Next question is from Titsa Ahmed, playing for Birmingham Five Ways, is also a junior. Will there be more attention on junior beach competition during the summer months, for example, at the new courts at Molesley Rugby Club?
And can we take this as the last question, because we did have that 9 o'clock hard stop?
Yes, yeah,
for sure. Thank you.
Yeah, Ant and Deck are not gonna wait for us, so we absolutely have to be done for that. Absolutely, yes, there are going to be more beach opportunities. So I need to just prefix this response by saying we are really, I feel so incredibly honoured and fortunate that we have 3 formats, 3 primary formats of volleyball under our jurisdiction. So we have sitting volleyball, we have indoor volleyball, and we have beach. Having said that, there are lots of opportunities across all of those formats, but the one that I believe will advance the sport quickest in this country on many different levels is beach. There are lots of opportunities there. So are there going to be more opportunities in and around Birmingham? Yes. So Molesley Rugby Club will have more opportunities. We are also in the process of building an indoor beach facility at Birmingham City University. It will semi kind of permanent indoor, because we will be able to pull the bubble back over the summer and allow the 2 days of sunshine that we have in this country. And but that facility will be open around May June time. We're also building a high performance program around that as well, and hopefully be in a place as of September next year. For that, we are going to be looking to host some international beach events in and around Birmingham next year. We're reliably told that there's going to be a summer beach in Victoria Square, so we're going to do something there. So I think, yeah, I think there's going to be lots and lots of opportunities from a beach volleyball perspective in and around Birmingham.
Yeah, definitely. And that was the last question. So I'll hand back to Gwyn.